Assalamu alaikum students. In our previous lectures, we discussed something about the central nervous system, in which we discussed that central nervous system consisting of brain and spinal cord. Today, we are going to discuss something about the spinal cord. Spinal cord actually is a cord-like structure or a rope-like structure or a cable which is present inside the vertebral column. The next topic is something about the protection and covering of spinal cord. Spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. Students, you can see here that this spinal cord, which is shown in black line, is protected by the vertebral column. These vertebrae of the vertebral column are shown in the red lines. So these vertebrae, they are there to protect the spinal cord, right? Vertebrae, there are total 33 vertebrae which are present in the vertebral column. Student, next is meninges. These are the meninges or the covering of the spinal cord. There are three layers which are present in the meninges. Number one is dura mater, arachnoid membrane, and the third one is pia mater. Here we have shown these meninges in this diagram. Dura mater, which is very next to vertebral column, and then beneath this dura there is the presence of another layer which is arachnoid membrane, and beneath this arachnoid membrane another layer is present which is considered as a pia mater. Student, this pia mater adheres to the vertebral column, and dura mater, it adheres, it is very next to the vertebral column. Next is this cerebrospinal fluid. Where is this fluid present in all these three layers, which are called as a meninges? Cerebrospinal fluid, it is present in between arachnoid mater and pia mater. In between pia and arachnoid, this fluid is present which is called as this cerebrospinal fluid. Student, this cerebrospinal fluid actually it just gives cushion to the spinal cord. This spinal cord, which is enclosed within the vertebral column, is cushioned by this cerebrospinal fluid. Next, students, we are going to discuss about the external and internal anatomy of the spinal cord. Here you can see that spinal cord actually it originates from lower portion of the medulla oblongata. Students, you know that medulla oblongata actually is the hind part of the hindbrain. This is the part of the hindbrain from where spinal cord originates itself. It emerges from the lower portion of the medulla oblongata, and then it enters into the foramen magnum, which is considered as a hole which is present at the base of the skull. And then you can say that spinal cord from medulla oblongata, then it crosses the foramen magnum, and then it crosses the different regions of the vertebral column, namely cervical vertebrae, then thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae, and then sacrum and the coccyx region comes after all these vertebrae. So students, you can see that this portion which I have shown in green color is considered as a cervical cord. This is the cervical cord. I should write here like a cord, cervical cord, thoracic cord, and lumbar cord. These are actually named after the vertebrae through which this spinal cord will pass. Cervical cord actually is present just beneath the cervical vertebrae. Thoracic cord, part of the spinal cord which is present just beneath the thoracic vertebrae of the vertebral column, and then comes the name of the lumbar cord which is just present beneath the inside the lumbar vertebrae. So again, I just want to say that this spinal cord, which originates from the lower portion of medulla oblongata, it ends to the in between first and second lumbar vertebrae. And students, you can see that there are different portions which are present on spinal cord are swollen. They have enlargement. Look at here, cervical cord is showing the enlargement. Lumbar cord is also showing the enlargement of the spinal cord, because these are the regions of the spinal cord which are there to from where many nerve originates and they are coming from body to spinal cord. So that is why these portions of the spinal cords are broader as compared to rest of the spinal cord. Now, please look at here. This is just about the internal anatomy of the spinal cord, consisting of two portions: gray matter, which is the internal part of a spinal cord, and the white matter, which encloses this gray matter, which surrounds this gray matter. Again, we come to this point, gray matter. Why we are giving the name of gray matter to this internal structure of the spinal cord? Because of the presence of non-myelinated fiber. If myelinated fibers are present, so it means that they are of white color. So students, you can easily distinguish here that white matter, why we are giving the name of white matter to the outer portion of the spinal cord, because myelinated fibers are present in white matter and non-myelinated fibers are present in gray matter. Now let's see the structure of the spinal cord. Students, here we are showing the structure of a spinal cord. You can see that there are two horns which are present on the posterior side of the spinal cord, which are present on the dorsal side of the spinal cord, and we are giving the name of a dorsal horns to these horns. And now you can see that on the anterior portion of the spinal cord, there are presence of a two horn like structure which are considered as a ventral horns. These two are ventral horns which are present on the anterior side, and you can also give the name of a ventral horns which are present on the anterior side of the spinal cord, and these are the dorsal horns. Student, these both horns are joined together through a central canal, again which is made up of a non-myelinated fiber and making gray matter of this butterfly shaped structure which is present in the internal part of a internal portion of a spinal cord. Now look at here, this is the white matter. I have shown this white matter with the help of the green line. White matter is made up of, I told you, is made up of myelinated fiber, which is of white color. So look at here, a groove is present in this white matter, which is starting from the peripheral region and moving towards the center of the spinal cord. And same is here. Another groove is present. If the groove is present on the posterior side, then we will give the name of a posterior median sulcus. If the same groove is present on the anterior side, then we will give the name of a anterior median sulcus. So this is all about the white matter which surrounds the gray matter. Now students, look at here. Dorsal horns. Look at here. These are the dorsal horns, and from the dorsal horns, dorsal roots of a spinal nerves are emerging. Look at here. Dorsal root of a spinal nerves are emerging from the dorsal horns. And same, look at here. Ventral root of spinal nerves are emerging from the ventral horns. Dorsal root of spinal nerves are emerging from the dorsal horns. And after these origination, what happens? Dorsal root and ventral root of the spinal nerves, they will join together, they will meet together, and they are there to form a spinal nerves. And from spinal cord, these spinal nerves are moving to the body. Each spinal nerve, it carries sensory and motor neuron as well. Students, these dorsal root of spinal nerves, they carry senses from body to the spinal cord, and they have sensory neurons. And the neurons, ventral root of spinal nerves, they carry motor neurons. It means they carry message from the spinal cord to the body. So each spinal nerve, it has sensory neurons and a motor neuron as well. Thank you students. Next time, inshallah, we will come with the next topic, spinal nerves. Thank you so very much.